home automation and connectivity, you go to CES, I've been for 10, 15 years, it's been there. The difference is now the smartphone. And it doesn't matter whether it's Android or iPhone, it's the ability now, this is a screen. So I don't have to embed this screen in a device to do something. That takes out $100 to $200 of the cost. I don't need a processor to drive the screen, I don't need the graphics. I can do it once in a device I'm already paid for or paying for, and through an accessory, control things around my home. And I think that's kind of the difference today. Why going forward, I'm a much stronger believer in connectivity and the connected home than I might have been 5, 10 years ago when you've seen companies trying to do this. Yeah. Think of the home as your accessory. Yeah. This term we think is going to come up, whether it's healthcare, whether it's security, whether, a lot of places. There's an article this morning in our local paper how the accessory market is driving jobs. It was the one place of job creation over the last 3 or 4 years. I strongly believe that, because I think this is a device people want. They want to be able to reuse this in other places, and now through apps and technology that we provide, you can control things that you've never thought of as possible before.
What strikes me about the Pecan Street project is that this seemed to be kind of a grassroots thing that bubbled up from the municipal level, which is kind of unusual to me.
Yeah, it is unusual, but they haven't really made a secret why. Austin Energy, the money that's earned by Austin Energy is a big portion of the city of Austin's budget. So roughly 1/3 of the money that the city gets and can spend comes from Austin Energy. So they're really afraid with the new technologies coming out, the smart grid technologies, the ability for people to go off the grid. They're afraid of a couple of things. One is that they will become a commodity and basically the golden goose will be killed or crippled, right? And so the income will lessen. So they're looking at new models for making money, like services. So how could this disruptive technology that's coming in that whole business parks may actually go off the grid and not need Austin Energy anymore because they've got their own solar and wind and whatever, right? The other thing they're afraid of is that those technologies have a very real possibility of disrupting their services, right? So you could actually, if I'm generating power on my roof and I'm injecting it back onto the grid and I've got something wrong in my system in my house, I actually could be pushing dirty power back onto the grid. And I could, there's the analysis of 3 electric vehicles all charging at the same time, blowing the transformer, right? Because that's a real possibility. So there's a lot of disruptive things happening, and they've either got to adapt to it, and luckily Austin Energy is very forward-thinking utility and in the forefront, and has been in the forefront for several years now on green energy, right? So, they embraced it, and I applaud them in doing that. They could have put their head in the sand and tried to protect their turf, but what they did was say, this is going to happen. We can either control it or just let it happen to us, right? So Austin Energy is a big part of the Pecan Street project.